Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot for Personal Liberty. Are we Rome? Is Nero fiddling while Rome burns? Is Thad Cochran's close victory in Mississippi symbolic of a modern-day Nero? Have you seen the latest economic figures? The U.S. economy is in free fall. We're headed for economic Armageddon. Our economy is shrinking at an alarming rate. We may already be in an Obama Great Depression. At the root of all of it is debt and spending. Both are expanding at record-setting pace. Yet establishment D.C. politicians, even GOP politicians like Thad Cochran, save their jobs by promising more federal spending, more welfare, more food stamps, more government contracts, and more government loans. All this bribery is offered so a desperate 76-year-old career politician can keep his job until the day he dies. We have met the enemy, and it is us. It's Washington, D.C. It's the establishment saving their lifelong jobs by spending taxpayer money, putting us all into debt and destroying our economy and our children's future. One old Mississippi career politician hanging on for dear life for the fourth decade in the U.S. Senate is Exhibit A of the decline and destruction of America. This race had special importance to me because I just returned from Ground Zero. I spent the past few days barnstorming the state of Mississippi, speaking at Tea Party Express rallies for Chris McDaniel. I'm proud to call Chris a friend. Tea Party and conservative groups should hold their heads high. A political newcomer came within a whisker of pulling off one of the greatest upsets in modern political history against powerful, elitist, and D.C. special interest groups. We tried to save America from obscene and unsustainable spending, but the voters of Mississippi, by the slimmest of margins, 50 to 49, chose Fantasyland. They chose to keep the checks coming at all costs, even if there's no money left to give. They chose the continued looting and eventual bankruptcy of America. The rallies that I witnessed across Mississippi are the perfect model for the looting of America. The stark contrast in the rallies for Chris McDaniel and Thad Cochran pinpoint what's happening to America. Elections are being won by the government class offering bribery with taxpayer money. Desperate politicians pull out razor-thin victories only by pandering to those benefiting from government jobs, government checks, government loans, or government grants. I spent 3 days crisscrossing the state for McDaniel. I spoke in places like Tupelo, Biloxi, and Pearl. Everywhere the Tea Party Express went, we met loud, wild, enthusiastic crowds. But what's most important is who was in those crowds. Average middle-class Americans. I met homemakers, policemen, small business owners, veterans, and taxpayers. These are the citizens that made America great. Middle-class America. As I was leaving Mississippi, I went to the airport, and I happened to stumble onto a Thad Cochran rally. It was at the Biloxi airport. It was sparsely attended. But who were the few attendees? Political operatives, GOP establishment politicians, GOP leaders, and government employees. Everyone at Cochran's rally made a living off either politics or government or both. No one was there because they wanted to be there. Cochran supporters were paid to be there. Their jobs or careers depended on his staying in power. This is what the establishment GOP has become. How sad. Just like Democrats, their entire lives and careers are based on fleecing taxpayers and common citizens to pay for their government jobs, political jobs, or their companies that are funded by government contracts. Then there was the last-second plea by Cochran to save his 6-term Senate career. This supposed conservative Republican appealed to black Democrats and union members to cross over to vote in the GOP primary. He reminded them of the federal money he's brought to Mississippi for 4 decades. Cochran also campaigned at military bases and plants manufacturing military equipment to remind voters that only he can bring home the bacon. His TV ads actually listed the federal money he's brought back to each specific Mississippi company. Sound familiar? Appealing to Democrats who want bigger government and more checks? Isn't that what a career Democratic politician would do? Appealing to union members and government employees? Isn't that what a career Democratic politician would do? Outspending your opponent by about 3 to 1 with funds donated by corporate interests and special interests and the Chamber of Commerce? Isn't that called buying the election? Calling your Tea Party opponent a racist in favor of segregation? Isn't that how we're slandered by Democrats? Is this what the Founding Fathers wanted for America? This is the perfect model for why America is in decline. One candidate, my friend, Chris McDaniel, stood for the middle class, small business, and the citizens. Yet he lost to a career politician who has spent 4 decades in corrupt Washington, D.C., where he learned to buy votes by promising more spending, more entitlement checks, and more crony capitalism. It's amazing and sad to note that this strategy of crony capitalism and bribery still wins elections while the country is completely insolvent, with over $100 trillion in debt and unfunded liabilities. Perhaps Hillary Clinton was right. It does take a village to succeed. In this case, it took an entire big city, Washington, D.C. It took the power of government and millions of dollars in big business and special interest spending to ensure that a career politician could stay in office until the day he dies. The problem for the Thad Cochrans of the political world is that this strategy is in its final dying days. The country is broke and living on Federal Reserve printing of fake dollars. What will the career politicians do when the spigot runs dry? The Cochran victory brings up the question, are we Rome? I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. See you next week. God bless America.